Hello, Pizza Packs here, and we're back with our fourth Tarkir Dragonstorm commander deck. This is Temur Roar, ramp mana, summon dragons. Let's get into this. We have Trespassers will be punished. Kind of reminds me of the original flavor text for Lana War Elves. We have our Collector Booster Sample Pack, which will have its own video coming up. A themed deck box. Very nice. And we have a little pamphlet on the deck. So, playing the deck, common commander rules, and then a little bio on the two face commanders, Ureni of the Unwritten and Eshki Temur's Roar. Then on the backside we have Color Pie, which is largely broken at this point. Alright. Then we have the Protector Sleeve, the main deck, 6 +1/+1 counters. This is the part everyone's here for, the main deck. So let's get into this. Let's see. Ureni of the Unwritten. 4 green, blue, red for a 7/7 legendary spirit dragon with flying and trample. Whenever Ureni attacks or enters or attacks, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a dragon card from among them onto the battlefield, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's pretty cool. Eshki Temur's Roar. Green, blue, red for a 2/2 legendary human warrior. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Eshki. If that spell's power is 4 or greater, draw a card. If that spell's power is 6 or greater, Eshki deals damage equal to Eshki's power to each opponent. Okay, that's pretty cool. Deceptive Frostkite. Blue for a 1/1 dragon with flying. You may have this creature enter as a copy of a creature you control with power 4 or greater, except it's a dragon in addition to its other types, and it has flying. Alright. Hammerhead Tyrant. 4 blue for a 6/6 dragon with flying. Whenever you cast a spell, return up to 1 target non-land permanent and opponent controls with a mana value less than or equal to that spell's mana value to its owner's hand. That is kind of rude. I like it. Will of the Temur. 5 and a blue, sorcery, choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent, except it's a 4/4 dragon creature with flying in addition to its other types. Target player draws a card equal to the greatest mana value among permanents you control. Okay, some nice politics you can play there. Parafet Thrasher. 2 red for a 4/3 dragon with flying. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to an opponent, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Destroy target artifact an opponent controls. This creature deals 4 damage to each other opponent. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Nice. Thundermane Dragon. 3 and a red for a 4/4 dragon with flying. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells with power 4 or greater from the top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn. That's pretty slick. Zenith Festival. X red sorcery. Exile the top X cards of your library. You may play them until the end of your next turn. Harmonize X red. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its Harmonize cost. You may tap a creature you control to reduce the cost by an amount of generic mana equal to its power. Then exile this spell. So it's an upgraded variant of Flashback. Become the Avalanche. 4 green sorcery. Draw a card for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Then creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. That's a nice overrun effect. Broodcaller Scourge. 5 green for a 5/7 dragon with flying. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player, you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to that damage from your hand onto the battlefield. That's a silly one. I feel like this could get out of hand very quickly. Keiga, the Tide Star. This was my favorite of the original Kamigawa Dragon cycle. 5 and a blue for a 5/5 legendary Dragon Spirit with flying. When it dies, gain control of target creature. Reflections of Lityara. 4 and a blue enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. You may cast a spell of the chosen type, or whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. A copy of a permanent spell becomes a token. Very nice. Great doubler for casting. Atsushi, the Blazing Sky. 2 red for a 4/4 legendary dragon spirit with flying and trample. When it dies, choose one. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until end of turn, or until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards or create 3 treasure tokens. Treasure tokens are always nice. Blasphemous Act. 8 and a red sorcery. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Act deals 13 damage to each creature. Nice board wipe in red. Chaos Warp. 2 and a red instant. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. Nice. Dragon Master Outcast. For a red, it's a 1/1 human shaman. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. I miss when this was in standard. It was such a fun thing to ramp into early on. Gadrick, the Crown Scourge. 2 and a red for a 5/4 legendary dragon with flying. It can't attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. Very nice. Glorybringer. Good old Glorybringer. 3 red for a 4/4 dragon with flying and haste. You may exert this creature as it attacks. When you do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls. An exerted creature won't untap during your next untap step. Very nice. Hellkite Courser. 4 red for a 6/5 dragon with flying. Whenever this creature enters, you may put a commander you own from the command zone onto the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to the command zone at the beginning of the next end step. This is a goofy way to cheat out your commander. Still good though. Lathlas, Dragon Queen. 4 red for a 6/6 legendary dragon with flying. Whenever another non-token dragon you control enters, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. It's just a good way to amplify your creature output. 1 and a red, dragons you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So it has dragon fire breathing, I guess. Fire breathing for dragons. Leyline Tyrant. 2 red for 4/4 dragon with flying. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. When this creature dies, you may pay any amount of red. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. The things you can do with that are very nutty. You can just keep floating mana across turns, steps, and phases. That's just silly. Nesting Dragon. 3 red for a 5/4 dragon with flying and landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 0/2 red dragon egg creature token with defender. And when this creature dies, create a 2/2 red dragon creature token with flying and red. This token gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So it creates dragon whelps. Well, it creates dragon eggs and dragon whelps. Nagi, Dragon, or Draco Zealot. 1 red for 3/3 legendary Kobold Shaman. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever Nagi attacks, if you control 3 or more dragons until end of turn, Nagi becomes a dragon with base power and toughness 5/5 and gains flying. Very cool. Opportunistic Dragon, 2 red for a 4/3 dragon with flying. Whenever this creature enters, choose target human or artifact an opponent controls. For as long as this creature remains on the battlefield, gain control of that permanent, it loses all abilities and can't attack or block. So you basically can shut something off for as long as you have this out. Scourge of the Throne, 4 red for a 5/5 dragon with flying and dethrone. Whenever this creature attacks the player with the most life or tied for the most life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever this creature attacks for the first time each turn, if it's attacking the player with the most life or tied for the most life, untap all attacking creatures. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Very nice. Skargan Hellkite, 3 red for a 4/4 dragon with Riot. This creature enters with your choice of a +1/+1 counter or haste, flying, and then 3 and a red. This creature deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. Activate only if this creature has a +1/+1 counter on it. Very nice. Start a riot. Spit Flame, 2 and a red instant. Deals 4 damage to target creature. Whenever a dragon you control enters, you may pay a red. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Just nice, reusable removal for dragon decks. Storm's Wrath, 2 red sorcery, deals 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Stormbreath Dragon, 3 red for a 4/4 dragon with flying, haste, and protection from white. 5 red, monstrosity 3. If this creature isn't monstrous, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it and it becomes monstrous. When this creature becomes monstrous, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. Just nice sudden impact on a creature. Taurean Mauler, 2 and a red for a 2/2 shapeshifter with changeling. This creature is every creature type. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. This gets out of hand very quickly, and these things grow very, very quickly. Let's see, Territorial Hellkite, 2 red for a 6/5 dragon with flying and haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose an opponent at random that this creature didn't attack during your last combat. This creature attacks that player this combat if able. If you can't choose an opponent this way, tap this creature. Interesting. Thunderbreak Regent, oldie but a goodie. From the first run through Tarkir block. 2 red for 4/4 dragon with flying. Whenever a dragon creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, this creature deals 3 damage to that player. Giving this guy lifelink is hilarious. Vengeful Ancestor, 2 red for a 3/4 spirit dragon with flying. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, goad target creature. Until your next turn, that creature attacks each combat if able, and attacks a player other than you if able. Whenever a goaded creature attacks, its controller it deals 1 damage to its controller. Very nice. Varric's Bladewing, 2 red for a 4/4 legendary dragon with kicker 3. Flying, and when it enters, if you kicked it, create Varric's Bladewing, a legendary 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Varric's and Varric's were, I think, twins that mattered in the story at one point. Frontier Siege, 3 and a green enchantment. As it enters, choose cons or dragons. Cons, at the beginning of your main phase, or at the beginning of each of your main phases, add green. Dragons, whenever a creature you control flying enters, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. Selvalla's Stampede, 4 green sorcery, Council's Dilemma. Starting with you, each player votes for wild or free. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card for each wild vote. Put those creature cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle the rest of your library. You may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield for each free vote. That's pretty cool. Atarka, World Render. 5 red-green for a 6/4 legendary dragon with flying and trample. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. Dragon Lord Atarka. Hey look, 2 Atarkas. 5 red-green for an 8/8 legendary elder dragon with flying and trample. Whenever it enters, it deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers your opponents control. Harbinger of the Hunt. 3 red-green for a 5/3 flying dragon. 2 and a red, it deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. 2 and a green, it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. Very nice. Sarkhan, Soul of Flame. I believe this is actually standard legal at the moment. 1 blue-red for a 2/4 legendary human shaman. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever a dragon you control enters, you may have Sarkhan become a copy of it until end of turn, except its name is Sarkhan, Soul of Flame, and is legendary in addition to its other types. Nice. Temur Ascendancy. Oh, this was a fun one back when it was in standard. Green, blue, red enchantment. Creatures you control have haste. Whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, you may draw a card. Just all upside. Dragon's Horde, 3 mana artifact. Whenever a dragon you control enters, put a gold counter on this artifact. Tap, remove a gold counter from this artifact, draw a card. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. So it's a mana rock that also draws you cards over time. Steel Hellkite. This used to be so good in stacks, both in Vintage and Legacy back in the day. Doesn't really seem much play anymore, but it was very good. Also really good in workshop decks. It's a 6 mana 5/5 artifact creature dragon with flying, and 2, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And then X, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X whose controller was dealt damage by this creature this turn. Activate only once each turn. So just a really good way of blowing up all of your opponent's stuff. Cinderglade. It's a mountain forest that enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Exotic Orchard. Taps for any color your opponent's lands could tap for. Flooded Grove. Taps for colorless and then filters a hybrid green-blue into any combination of 2 green-blue. So green-green, green-blue, blue-blue. Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Taps for colorless and then taps for 1 mana of any color. Spend only to cast a dragon creature spell. And then 2, tap and sacrifice it. Return target dragon creature card or Ugin planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. This was especially good in the old ramp decks that wanted to get out Ugin as quickly as possible. Hinterland Harbor. Enters tapped unless you control a forest or an island. Taps for a green or a blue. Carplusion Forest. Currently standard legal. Taps for a colorless and then taps for red or green and deals 1 damage to you. Kessig Wolf Run. Taps for colorless and then X. Red, green, tap. Target creature gets +X/+0 and trample until end of turn. There was a whole deck built around this in Innistrad when that originally came out. Mossfire Valley. Filters a generic into red-green. Mosswort Bridge. Probably the best of the Hideaway lands. Hideaway 4. When it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Enters tapped. Excuse me. Taps for a green, and then for a green and tap, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater. Pretty easy feat to pull off in green, to be honest. Rockfall Vale. Enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Taps for a red or a green. Rootbound Crag enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest, and then taps for a red or a green. It's got a dinosaur on it. Sheltered Thicket, it's a mountain forest that enters tapped and cycles for 2. Shivan Reef, currently standard legal, taps for colorless, and then taps for a blue or a red and deals 1 damage to you. Sulphur Falls enters tapped unless you control an island or a mountain, taps for a blue or a red. Temple of Abandon, it's the blue-green or the red-green temple. Enters tapped. When it enters, you scry 1, and then it taps for a red or a green. Temple of Mystery, same but for blue or green. Yavimaya Coast, currently standard legal, taps for colorless, taps for a blue or a green, and deals 1 damage to you. Good old Pain Lands. Dragon Tempest, 1 and a red enchantment. Whenever a creature you control with flying enters, it gains haste until end of turn. Whenever a dragon you control enters, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of dragons you control. There are multiple instant win combos with this card. Breaching Dragonstorm, 4 and a red for an enchantment. Whenever this enchantment enters, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast it without paying its mana cost if that spell's mana value is 8 or less. If you don't, put that card into your hand. Whenever a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. So it is a very nice, reusable cascade card, basically. Temple of the Dragon Queen. As this land enters, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand. This land enters tapped unless you reveal a dragon card this way or you control a dragon. As this land enters, choose a color. Tap, add 1 mana of the chosen color. That's an alright one. Arcane Signet, 2 mana artifact, taps for your commander's color identity. Soul Ring, we all know what this does by now, but 1 mana artifact that taps for 2. Command Tower, taps for your commander's color identity. Stormshriek Feral, this is one of the new ones. As Flush Out, as an omen, 1 and a red, sorcery omen, discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards, then shuffle this card into its owner's library. And then it has Stormshriek Feral, 4 and a red for 3/3 dragon with flying and haste, and then 1 and a red, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I feel this is one of the best commons in the set, as far as draft goes. Encroaching Dragonstorm, 3 and a green enchantment. Whenever this enchantment enters, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. When a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. Just nice ramp that is reusable. Draconic Lore, 5 and a blue, instant. This card costs 2 less to cast if you control a dragon. Draw 3 cards. So it ends up becoming 3 and a blue, draw 3, instant. It's not bad. Rapid Hybridization. For a blue, it's an instant. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. That creature's controller creates a 3/3 green frog lizard creature token. Just good targeted removal in blue, which is kind of weird. Reality Shift. 1 and a blue, instant. Exile target creature. Its controller manifests the top card of their library. That player puts the top card of their library into the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature. If it's a creature card, it can be turned face up at any time for its mana cost. Again, targeted removal, like hard removal in blue. Range. Dragonlord's Servant. 1 and a red for 1/3 Goblin Shaman. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Rapacious Dragon. 4 and a red for a 3/3 dragon with flying. When this creature enters, create 2 treasure tokens. Nice little discount. Whirling Stormbrood. Let's see, it has Dynamic Soar as an omen. Let's see, 2 and a green sorcery omen. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, then shuffle this card back into its owner's library. And then Whirling Stormbrood itself, 4 and a blue for a 4/3 flash, flying, or a dragon with flash and flying, and you may cast sorcery spells and dragon spells as though they had flash. Very fun. One of my favorite uncommons in the set, to be honest. Beast Within, 2 and a green, instant. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast creature token. Just hard removal. Elemental Bond, 2 and a green, enchantment. Whenever a creature you control with power 3 or greater enters, draw a card. Farseek, 1 and a green, sorcery. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card, and put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Keep in mind this grabs duels. That's why it's in here. Evolving Wilds, tap and sack. Search your library for a basic, put it on the battlefield tap, then shuffle. It is probably the first card you'll replace in this deck. Frontier Bivouac. Enters tapped. Taps for green, blue, or red. It's a land. Kadama's Reach. 2 and a green. Sorcery Arcane. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands. Reveal those cards. Put one into the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Then shuffle. Migration Path. 3 and a green. Sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Also has cycling for 2. Felwar Stone, 2 mana artifact that taps for 1 mana of any color your opponent's lands could tap for. Talisman of Creativity, 2 mana artifact, taps for a colorless, and then taps for a blue or a red and deals 1 damage for you, or to you. Talisman of Impulse, same but for green and red. Bountiful Landscape, taps for a colorless, and then tap, sacrifice this land, search your library for a forest, island, or mountain card. Put it onto the battlefield, a basic forest, island, or mountain. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. And it has cycling for green, blue, red. Path of Ancestry, enters tapped. Taps for 1 mana of your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, you scry 1. Now we're to the basics. We have 1, 2, 3 islands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mountains. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forests. And for our tokens, we have a treasure token. That's a 3/3 beast. So for Beast Within. Then we have a 5/5 flying dragon. It's a treasure. Copy token. That's Carrick's Bladewing. That's pretty nice. Dragon Egg. That's an unusual token too. That is 2/2 dragon on the back. It's nice that they put them on both parts on the same token. A 3/3 frog lizard. It's just a weird combination. 5/5 dragon on the back. A dragon egg with the dragon on the back. Another frog wizard with a dragon on the back. Treasure with a 3/3 beast on the back. A 5/5 flying dragon with treasure on the back. 5/5 flying dragon with a copy on the back. I like that they at least gave you a few different 5/5 flying dragons there. And then the turn order reminder and popular formats card. Well, thank you for joining me on this adventure. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm. And thank you to everyone who reached out with well wishes and condolences for the passing of my uncle. It really means a lot to me. The community here is absolutely amazing, and I cannot express how much I appreciate it. But much love to everyone, and thank you, thank you, thank you. But until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.